Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend so far. Just some quick updates. I'm going to be very busy this month, so I may not get as much content out there, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to be able to get some content out there. I'm going to try and actually pull some stuff out of my collection that I either haven't shown or haven't shown in a while over the next couple of months, because I'm not obviously buying as much stuff in person or online. I do have a few things that are kind of trickling in, but nothing super major. The biggest thing that's going to be is the SGC reveal. They have my order now, and they're working on it, so I imagine I'll get the grades this week and maybe even get the cards towards the end of the week, so we might have a reveal next weekend, give or take, because next weekend actually is the Chicago Marathon, so I'm hoping to be able to put together maybe a little video about that and talk about my experience. So for those of you who are kind of interested in that part of my hobbies and interests, you'll get to hear a little bit more about that as we approach the race. I'm going to be going to the expo on Thursday, taking some pictures and getting my stuff that I need for the race on Sunday. I probably won't have as many pictures from Sunday because I don't usually carry my phone when I'm actually racing, but I'll see what I can do because I know my wife will be there kind of taking some pictures. So we'll see if we can merge some of that stuff into one sort of video or photo presentation of some sorts, and I'll try and get that out. I don't know, probably early next week. I don't know if I'll get it done on the weekend itself because I might be also pretty tired after running the race. And then we'll be back to card-related activities. All right, so I wanted to share with you a few things that did come in recently. I went to a card show today as well, so let's talk about the stuff that came in the mail. So as you can see up here in the corner, we obviously lost a legend in the game this past week. When I found out about it quickly on Monday evening, I went ahead and actually I did one of those impulsive things, I guess, if you could say, but it really wasn't, because I went online real quick before the prices went up on Pete Rose. And I noticed that they went up almost immediately after I bought this, but I was able to get an autograph from the 86 Topps set, which is actually the very first Pete Rose card I ever owned, was this 1986 Topps Manager card. In addition to some of the record breakers and the special tribute to him at the beginning of the set. I had some of those when I was purchasing cards in 1986, but I never was able to acquire the main card you see pictured up here until I went ahead and bought the set and completed that set like 25 years ago or so. So this one's autographed. As you can see, it was a graded autograph. I don't really care too much about that as long as it's authentic. So happy to be able to kind of have that one kind of in the collection. I thought it was kind of a good time to be able to pick one up. I had been kind of hoping that he might show up at a show at some point in the future, not knowing that he was probably not doing as well, because he had been doing some local shows in the last 3 years or so. At least he came out for the National and stuff like that. So I was hoping to maybe try and get his autograph on an older card, but this will suffice. And it kind of fits in well anyway to my collecting history because it's from 1986. Which was the first year I collected, and obviously that was one of the first players I really knew a lot about was Pete Rose anyway, because of where he was at in his career at that point. He just broke the hit record, and he was the name on everybody's lips at that time because of the career milestones he had reached. The only thing that came in the mail this week was a super affordable card. It's the Purple Refractor. This is from 2018 Topps Heritage, $1. Paid more to ship it. Actually, it was like $1.50 to ship and like $1 for it to sell itself. This isn't one I would actually submit for grading because it just is so inexpensive, but it's kind of nice to have in there with the other ones. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about the show I went to today. I got 3 cards. So move Pete back here in the background with McCovey, and we'll talk a little bit about them. So the local show here is in Schaumburg. I'm not too far from it, so it's about 10-15 minute drive. We have another big show coming up next month in November. I know that a few people are trying to kind of see if we can coordinate schedules to get there at the same time, which hasn't happened just yet at that show, where we've had like a big YouTube get-together kind of thing. But I think Jason, I'll give him credit there, Jason at Everyday Card Collector is the one really trying to spearhead that. I go to it anyway. I always go on the Friday to see if I can get one of the free Friday autographs. And sometimes it's some interesting guys, like Dawson's done it before, so... and then I usually come back maybe one other day if there's somebody that's signing an autograph that I might want. And I may do that on Sunday. Saturday's out of the cards for me, so I'm not going to be able to do it on that day, but I'll definitely be there on Friday. This is the local show that's held every month, and I've gone pretty much every other month this year. The last time I went was actually with Jason, also Steve from Vintage on Vintage. This time it was just me going around solo. It was in the same place it always is, but was in a different part of the convention center. It was a little bit smaller as far as number of tables that were kind of there today. I don't know if it was just the kind of the timing of the year or whatever, but did know that a few sellers were like, I'm only here for another half hour more because I'm on my way to the Bears game, so they are playing today at home. So, but anyway, the traffic was a little bit light, which allowed for us to have more time kind of looking at cards and talking with dealers. So what I usually do at one of these smaller shows where you can usually walk the floor in like half an hour, because I have such a narrow range of things I'm collecting, I'm able to just go through it pretty quickly and look for the things that I'm kind of interested in and then see what some of the prices are and then come back to it when I've kind of made some decisions on where I want to go. And that's what happened today. So I went in there more with a vintage feel, but actually the first two cards I was able to pick up were from a modern collector who had some stuff graded from PSA, and he had them there previously too. I've noticed at other shows, and some things that had caught my eye, but I noticed at least one of them had not moved, and I was kind of curious what he was asking for it. And that one is the 2022 Topps Update. Albert Pujols, this is the black, so this is numbered out of 71. This is the highlight card of him being 9th all-time in hits. It's a checklist on the back, but I was looking at this card actually anyway because I found it was kind of affordable because there's so many numbered parallels now. And black's one of those that kind of has a long lineage going back to 2003. I thought it was just kind of a sound card to kind of pick up from longevity standpoint and probably will hold its value into the future. So he was asking 50, which I already thought was pretty reasonable, and I actually countered him at 40. And he was like, go for it. So I'm like, okay, great, done deal. And I started to walk away, then I noticed he also had one other card at the table that kind of caught my eye. And I was just, because he gave me such a good deal on this one, I thought, like, well, what's he asking for this one? He asked for 10, I actually asked for 5. And it's the 2022 Sapphire Mookie Betts, which $5 for an already graded PSA card is a steal in my mind. So those were just like the deals of the day, I thought, for me, especially the Pujols, because it fits really well into my collection. But who doesn't like a good Mookie Betts card for $5 that's already graded, especially of a high-end product like Sapphire? I know they print a lot of the blue. Not so much this year. They kind of went back and making a little bit more of a scarce product. So the blue cards are holding a little bit more of a value because you can tell that just because of how easy it is to pull a lot of the parallels in the boxes now. But the print run's a little bit smaller. But I mean, they just look really nice. I'm really happy with that one. And it's better than I think the like base chromes and stuff like that from some of the other products you can get as well. But the other one I picked up was actually a vintage card, so kind of getting back to my true bread and butter is. So I was looking around the show, didn't really see stuff from the sets I was working on for 53 Bowman or from the Diamond Star sets, were the two active sets that I'm working on at the moment. And so I do have this list of sets that I'm kind of wanting to be able to build in the future. So I kind of like saw the sort of the secondary sets, if you will. And I saw one card from that set that was in graded condition from this guy I was talking to, who was a big Tigers fan. So we're trying to talking about his love for vintage cards. We talked a bit about the Diamond Stars, and he's got all the Tigers from that set, which is, if you're going to pick a team from that set, being able to have one as Greenberg and Garager in is a really good choice. But we talked a little bit about the vintage cards in his collection and some of the ones he had in his case. And my eye kind of sort of gravitated towards this one in particular as one of those sets that I want to do in the future. And so I looked at the card itself, and I saw the price he was asking for it, and I went a little bit below it, and I just thought it was an absolute gem of a pickup for this. It's a miscut card, but a PSA 4 miscuts, like a 3, I think it paid 55, so that's still probably below what it might sell for on eBay. It'd probably be more like, I don't know, probably like 70 to 80 on there. So really did really well on those purchases. All of this for 100. With these two really being the two big pickups from it, I couldn't be happier. So that is what I got for you this week. And I hope to kind of put some things on Instagram for some of these things later on this evening. So I hope you guys are going to have a great rest of your weekend. If you're a football fan, I hope your teams do well, unless you're playing the Bears. I hope the Bears were able to pull off a win today. But that's not guaranteed here in Chicago for a sports team winning. It's usually unusual when they're really good at this point. So, all right, take care, guys.